Hey guys, so welcome to Tech Titan again, and in this video, I'm gonna teach you Python in as short as time as possible. And I don't like to delay stuff, and I will try to explain as much as I can in the shortest amount of time. So let's get started with the tutorial without wasting any time. Python is an amazing programming language which is pretty easy and beginner friendly. But that doesn't mean that it is only for entering the programming world. It is used in industry and is highly demanded at the current time. It is used in data science, machine learning, web development, and what else? Now let's flash up the tutorial. First, we need to get Python on our systems. In Linux, you can get Python from your package manager like apt, zipper, pacman, or whatever else. In Windows, you have to go to the Python website, which is python.org, and the link will be given in the description below. And you have to install an executable for Python. Don't forget to add Python to pass when they launch the installer. Now we need a text editor. A text editor or an IDE, integrated development environment, is where we write code and sometimes even execute it through the same. I will use Visual Studio Code for this video, which is an awesome text editor and full of features. You can choose your own like Sublime Text, PyCharm, or whatever. So the first thing we'll cover is modules. So modules are basically packages of code written by others which we can use in our programs. These modules are extremely helpful and can make your life as easy as munching a peanut. You just import the modules and use their functions in your program. Suppose you want to generate a random number, so you can just import the random module which is pre-installed in with Python and use the randin function. So I am showing you this. To import modules, you just need the import statement, and then you can just get import random. Then to use a function, you have to first write the module name, then put a period and write the function name, which is randin, suppose. So here it's asking me for two arguments. Suppose I give this. Well, we don't need to dive deep here, but this is just a plain introduction. Suppose we run this. Here. So we have to print it first. Now print statement, we are coming into it soon, and this is how you use modules. Let's run this code. So it's giving a random number to us between 0 and 4. So that's how modules work. Others have written the code and you are just using the functions to execute them. It makes your life a lot of easy if you want to do advanced stuff out there, because if you wanna randomly generate some random numbers, you will get another whole sum of modules and all, and or a big logic, and that will be a kind of hassle for as short as a work like like generating random numbers. So now we will learn about modules soon, but now we do the basic thing in programming, the most basic, which is showing an output. For that we use the print function. As I showed, that print is used to display something in the output. Suppose I give print and in quotes I give hello world, which is an iconic statement in the programming world, and mostly every programmer starts with this statement. So two brackets given, sorry. So hello world is getting printed, as you can see here, and the print was used to display an output. Then there is comments. So what are comments? Well, when you write code or and give it to someone, of course they won't understand most of the part because everyone isn't a programmer. Or suppose you are working for a company where there are thousands of people working with you, so they are programmers, okay, I can understand, but you are working for a company, it may be mostly some long code which is divided into parts. Now to navigate to each part, you are really going to scroll a lot way down, so that won't be convenient. So what you can do is you can put modules which are self-explanatory explanatory statements that you put for readability of code. Those modules, those comments will not be executed by the by the interpreter, and I just put for the programmer, which is the reader's understanding. Comments are as I said, comments are basically notes or sentences which will not be executed by the computer, and and they would be only readable by the programmer or the one who is seeing the code. Comments can be used to mark some points to make stuff easily navigatable. Suppose we do a comment, print hello world, as we did in the last one. Hello world. So we print hello world here, and now what we can do is we can add a comment printing hello world. So you can just add a comment with a single line comment which fits in a single line with a hash sign. Suppose this is a comment, and suppose you want to write a long thing like a paragraph. Then what you can do is then you can give triple quotes. Here you get triple quotes, and in between this you write a comment. You won't write it here in the same line. You can write it on the next line, following line, and say similar to this. You can't write a comment like this, but you have to either write it between these. They are like two borders. So this is a multi-line comment. So you can just write this in as many lines you want. That is mostly used at the starting of the code while you give credits and all in the big programs for the industry. Then there are variables. Now what are variables? Variables are basically containers that store values. You can use variables in your program. It is kind of easy concept. So basically they are used to store a value. Suppose I give one variable a, and I store a value 1, another variable b 1, b2. Then what should I give? Print a plus b, and it will give me just exiting this. How to exit this? Okay, so I opened the conda shell by mistake. So let's run this code. Yeah, so it's giving us 3, and even we can put the variables like this. We can print them singularly, which is this. You can just click on this run button and it will execute for you. So it's giving me 2 now because b's value is 2. Then you can even store strings here and any data type here. Strings, suppose, and now it will print strings for me. Here it's printing strings. Now I have autosave on. In Visual Studio Code there is autosave which is on, but you have to save your file every time if you don't have autosave on like me. Now that was variables. Then we have strings. So strings are one of the important data types of Python. Multi-line strings are enclosed in 3 quotes, and single line strings can be enclosed in double or single quotes. So basically strings are the set of characters. And suppose print then hello world as we do. So this is a string. This whole thing is a string. And it's a single line string. So you do it in an organized way, and you can give a single quote and double quote both. And for print for multi-line comment, well, here you have three quotes, triple quotes, and then you have suppose ghost. So ghost, Obama, Trump, Biden. So this is a multi-line string. So you will be confused that if triple quotes are for strings, then triple quotes are also for comments. Then why are not they becoming comments? So basically, as I told you, you can't really write comments like this. Here you can't just write it on the same line. you have to make a new line and write it on there, the comments. But in strings you will see that you can obviously continue from the same line. Suppose I just run this file. This is the strings.py, and then you will see that it's printing all my stuff. Pretty cool, right? And these were strings. Now we have data types. So in Python we have many data types. The main ones being integer, int, float, which is decimal numbers. Integers are those are numbers without decimals, they're whole numbers, and float is decimal numbers. And we have Boolean numbers. If you have read Boolean algebra, well, there's true or false, the success of the code execution. And then we have strings. These are the four most common data types: Boolean, true or false, and strings. So suppose we give some variables: a equals to 2, b equals to 3.4, 3.454, then c equals to true, here the t is capital, and d equals to a string hello. And this is basically done. So these are the four data types. Then we have arithmetic operations. Arithmetic operations, what are they? Well, they are used to solve mathematical problems. Suppose I have a equals to 2 and b equals to 3, then what I can do is print the sum of a and b is, then I will do a plus b. So a plus b, here the plus sign is an operator and these are the variables. So if I run this now, then you will see that it is returning us 5. The same we can do with other stuff. For example, there are many operators there. I'm showing you: minus, then multiplication, power, division, this double slash. This one is happening, bro. Okay, so another one we give is percentage. So this doesn't really tell you the percentage of 2. That's not really possible, but you can guess. Here I can change it to division, or let it stay like that. We are with the operators here. So now we print the output here. So see this is coming. So why 2 minus 3? Obviously minus 1. Then there is our thing. There is our multiplication, which is 6, 2 into 3, and 2, and then 2 to the power 3 is 8, as it has shown us here. So this is the 2 to the power symbol, which the operator, which just gives us a power of the thing. And then there is a sum of and then there is the division, the quotient, which is basically, they are basically giving us float numbers. So float numbers, they are just dividing the two numbers, 2 by 3. And this one, the double slash one, well, this is also division, but this returns us an integer, a rounded value. Here it's as you can see here, first it's giving a float, and then it is giving a rounded value. So it returns us an integer instead of a float. Now, and the other one is the remainder. So what is the remainder? The percentage sign is for the remainder. So the remainder, when 2 divided by 3, is 2. So these were the basic operators and arithmetic operators. Then there are lists. So these are an important. So this is a big part. Well, not actually much big. So let's make a list. Suppose we need a list of some states of India. Suppose one is West Bengal, one is what should I say, Kerala, one is Maharashtra. Yeah, so these we have made 3 states of India. Now let's explain what this is. So a list contains of a set of items which can be modified, and we can print items of a list by their index. Lists have 2 types of indexing. One goes from 0 to the last item, while another one is indexed negatively. Now what does this mean? So this is basically a list, and each item of the list is indexed by its number. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 0, this the second item is 1, and this is 2. So these are the indexes. Then there is negative indexing, where this becomes -1, and this becomes -2, and this becomes -3. That's it, and that's the basic indexing structure of the list. Now you can just slice the list. Suppose I need the first one. I need the West Bengal from the list. So I can just give 0, which is the index of West Bengal. It is the first one, and it will just run it. Let's see, lists. Yeah, so it will give us West Bengal. Suppose I give 2, which is the last one, Maharashtra. So it will give us Maharashtra. Pretty nice. Now we can even give a set of numbers. Suppose 0, then colon, then 2. This will give us West Bengal and Kerala, because the last index, which is 2, is ignored. So it is giving us West Bengal and Kerala. If we make it 3, then it will give us Maharashtra. Yeah, as you can see, it is returning Maharashtra. That's it. And then you have -1 in the negative indexing. Suppose we give -1, then you can see Maharashtra is coming. Suppose we give -1 index -3. Oh, actually -3. So it will give us their index again. Okay. So I just messed up stuff. Okay, so this is the thing, and this is how you index. So it is giving you West Bengal and Kerala, because it's again ignoring the first one. Now another thing we need to do is take a look at some how to change the item of a list. Suppose we make states, then 0 equals to Tamil Nadu. So basically there is West Bengal in the list, but we can change it. As I said, they can be modified, so they can be changed. And yeah, so we can change it. Now if we print the list, print states, then we can just run this, and you see that that it is giving us the list with Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, and it's not really giving us West Bengal because we changed the thing. Now we will take a look at list methods. Now in VS Code, you can just press Ctrl and bracket to do a list method, and the first to make a comment, and then the first one is list.append. We just get the list. Suppose we give states West Bengal. No, actually we West Bengal, again Karnataka, Tamil Nadu. So these are 3 states. Now we have the states.append. Suppose I forgot to add a number to a list, add an item to a list. So what can I do? Well, I can append an item to the list by doing this states.append, and here I gave suppose Telangana. Then we can just print the states. Print states. Now run the code. You will see that the Telangana has been added to the list. So that's what append does. It adds an item. So if you forget something to add, or if you want to add separately, then yeah, you can just do this append. Then there is what if we want to insert an item at a specific index. So append basically adds it to the last, adds it to the last index, makes a new index. But what if we suppose wanna add Telangana to the second index? So what we can do is we can just give 1 because the first one is 0, and change this append into insert. Now just run the code. Once again. Okay, so basically I had to give the index first, the index then the item. Here it is. So Telangana has been added to the first index and Karnataka has been moved forward. And now what we can do is list.remove. Suppose we want to remove Telangana now. Actually not remove, because it will again become a tuple, actually a list. So we can just get Karnataka, and here we go remove. We could even give an index, I guess. So here he have, and Karnataka is removed, and we have West Bengal and Tamil Nadu. Then how to get a length of the list? Well, we can just give length, and then there is a len command, and you can just print the list here. So there are two items in the list after we removed Karnataka. So it has given us that the length of the list is 2. Now we have a list. Now we have tuples. So tuples, another good concept. Well, tuples are a short one. They are just like a list, but they are unchangeable. Tuples allow duplicates in them. So but the syntax is also a bit different. Suppose I give tuple, and then it's in brackets. It's not in that box brackets. So 1, 2, 3, 45 or whatever. So these are basically immutable. Suppose I wanna do tuple. These are unchangeable. Tuple, and we just do hello. Now you will see it will return an error. See, tuple object does not support item assignment. So if you want an immutable list, then you just use a tuple. And tuple, that's why it doesn't have many methods too, because it's kind of immutable. You can't just change any of the stuff there. You can't easily change them. Now the next concept we do is dictionaries. Let's just close the other files. Now here we have dictionaries. Yeah, here. So for this dictionaries thing, well, dictionaries are collection of key value pairs which are ordered and changeable. What does this mean? Suppose we create a dict. Here, dict. Okay, so that's a keyword. So dict 1. Then we give curly brackets. Then suppose movie Avengers. Then we give place. I hope you heard about Avengers. Place New York. Food. Here we go with suppose corn. So this is a dictionary. Basically there are like in a dictionary there is a word and a meaning. Well, in this dictionaries you have a key and a word. So keys are basically a value of assignment, and they have their own values. Now there are not only strings here, but you can even put integers and floats here. In the same way, Now how to just work with dictionaries. We can just do print dict1 and we put an index, suppose 0. So what will it do now? Dicts.py. Okay. Okay. So here we have to place the key. So for placing the key, well, we can do movie. Yep, we can do movie. See, Avengers. So movie is kind of a key which you can which is accessible by the name, and the Avengers thing is the value. So suppose if I give food here, food, then I put corn. So here it's giving me corn. Now then I have if else statements. After this, then we can do print and dict1 dot keys. So basically they are just giving us all the keys. So here it is giving us C, all our keys. Then we can even do it values. So they are kind of helpful when we work with a large data set and all. So these are the values. That's it. Now if else statements. If else. Then for if else, well, if else defines the logic of a program. They are used to add conditions in your program. Suppose if you want to make a program to check if your age is over 18, you will need kind of this code which I am writing now. Suppose age equals to, I declare a variable is 16, then we can just do if age is to lesser than 18, you are not adult, else you are an adult. Okay, so this is basically the thing. So if we execute this, just see what it gives you. If else.py. Okay, so I had not put print in the same ones. Print, yeah. So this was it. Now we can rerun the code. You are not an adult. Now suppose I change this to 19, and yes, you are an adult. So how did this work? So we first gave it a condition that if age is lesser than, as you have seen in maths, well, this is the descending sign, if is lesser than 18, then you are not, then you have to print you are not an adult. Else, if something else comes, then you are an adult. So by in the sense that if it is equal to 18 or more than 18, then basically all the other chances you will be an adult. Now that was if else basically. And we even have the elif command, which is used for secondary argument if the if command is not fulfilled. Suppose we give here a statement elif age equals to, this is the equals to sign, and 17, print you are nearly an adult. So here I give 17 for example, and here one second, what happened? Okay, so nearly an adult. Let's see, why is it coming there like that? This looks correct. Elif age equals to 17. Okay, let's see. Okay, so basically the thing is that I can just do larger than, because first it checks for the if statement, then it checks for elif. So that's what I actually wanted to say, that you are an adult. Wait, no, let me fix this. You are not an adult. Okay, so basically the thing was that if statement is not fulfilled, if the criteria doesn't consist of the if statements condition, then it looks for elif statements, and if the elif statement is not fulfilled, then else, which is the exception. So now if we run the code again, you are nearly an adult. So basically it checks one by one, and that was conditional operators, sorry, conditions. And now let me tell you what are conditional operators. So as you saw, this is a conditional operator. This is 1 2. So 2 equals to sign is equals to operator, equals to operator is equal to operator. So basically it's used when you want to get want to check if the two things are same, if the two values are same. Then the next one, well, it is exclamation mark and equals to sign, which is becoming a ligature here. Well, not a worry. So is not equals to operator. Then the next one is this one. So basically the more than operator and apply equal sign is the larger than or equal to operator. So what it does is it checks if the two arguments, suppose here I put here I put this thing, and then what it checks is if age is smaller than or equals to 18. So it will even check if it's equals to. Now quite logically the same way, well, this is also the lower than slash equal to operator. Okay, and as we know, even we have seen that this and this are the comparison operators. So now loops. So the next concept is loops. I hope you understood this if else. Then we go to loops. Here we have, yeah. So this is a kind of big concept. So loops are used when we need to execute blocks of code for a multiple number of times till the condition is fulfilled. There are two types of loops in Python: for and while loops. For loops, well, let's see what are for loops. For loops, first we create a list which is suppose a 1 2 3 4 5. Now for I in a, print I. Now let's see the output, then I'm explaining the code. Loops. So as you can see, all the items of the list have been printed. Suppose we give true here, again it will be changed. Yeah. So basically what is happening, I stands for a variable, which means for an item. For an item in a list, you can even give here j or j or anything else, and it will basically be represent an item of a list. So then what is to be done here? So for loop, it just sees that for one thing in about in a list or a collective data type, well, if it's continuously if it's there, then the loop is executing. So let's get more verbose with this. Suppose collective data type, which are lists, tuples and all. Suppose you need to print hello world about 6 times. So what we can do is for I in range is a function to get the range, suppose 7, then we do print I, print hello world. So what it will do is it will see for a range, and within the range of number of times where it will print hello world. Okay, so it has printed 7 times due to giving 7, so we wanted 6 times. Done. So this was it for loops. Basically the range function is to get a list of a range of numbers, and if you use it with the for loop, then it just counts an item from the number, which is the each number. Now there we even have while loops. Which is while loops take a condition that needs to be fulfilled to stop continuing execution. Suppose we declare a variable I equals to 0. Now while I not equal to 6, print I, and then I need I 1, I plus equal to 1. Now that's it. Now let's see what's the output. Yeah, so the output is that it has printed stuff from 1 to 5. There are 6 numbers and it has printed from 0 to 5. Now let's see the logic. First we set a variable here, then we are telling that while I, this variable which is 0, is not equal to 6, print this. And then what we do, I plus equals to 1, which is an operator, which is an assignment operator. And what it does, it basically it increases the value of I by 1. It is even equivalent to I equals to I plus 1, so that is equivalent to this one. So basically one value increases, one number increases from the integer. So that's why, as you can see, that it has been executed till 5, as it has been elaborating one by one. Then what we can do is we can do for one second, while I suppose 16, then if I equal to I equal to equal to about 12, then what we will do, break the loop. Now here we give print and print I. Now let's run this. One second. So what happened? Okay, so I made the major mistake that I didn't increase the value. Here it is. So it has been executed till 12 and then it stopped. Why? Because break statement breaks the loop. Now what is the continue statement? Well, suppose I replace continue, then what it does, then suppose I give print and hello world, bad spelling, and continue. So now what does it do? Well, let me just get this out there. Yeah, what does it do? You can see, one second, it just executed. Okay, so you can see that, well, there is hello world over each statement, between mid of each statement, but you can even spot that under 11 there is none. So basically what the continue statement did was, well, the continue statement doesn't execute any code after it's executed, and what it does is it skips to the next iteration, which it skipped to the 12th iteration. So you can just debug code to just see this one step-by-step process, which is run with the start debugging F5 on your keyboard. But yeah, that's done. Now we need functions. Functions are a function is made to prevent doing the same thing in a verbose manner again and again. For example, rather than adding two numbers one by one, I can just make a function and use it every time to add stuff. Suppose I want to print two times the sum of 1 and 2 is 1 plus 2. Now we have to again write a line which is 2 plus 2, for example. So why would I do this every time? Why would I do this every time? It's kind of boring, even for the longer type of work. It's kind of boring, like writing the same thing again and again. Else that what I can do is, without writing these operations again and again, def add a and b, these are arguments which have to be taken, and return a plus b. Now what we can do, add, here we can use a function add a b. Another one, add 1 6, and the upper one add 2 5, add 1 2 2 2. So this is what we could do. Now this might look silly, that why did I do this when I had to just write a plus sum, but in bigger ones you have to do it. So see, it has given us our outputs. It is the same thing, but you have done it in an easier way. Now suppose you have hundreds of lines to execute, so you can't really do it one by one here. You can just make a function, and then you can just use the function for the other arguments, for the other repetitions. Now that's with our functions. Now I wanna return to strings a bit, and I wanna show you, let me comment this whole thing. Then I wanna show you how to really slice items from the string, as we have seen list indexing. So list strings are also indexed like lists. Suppose we make a string str1 hello. So we can just do print str1 0. Now let's see what's an output. Strings, h. So it is the first index. Suppose we give 1 to 5, 0 to 5. See, the whole thing has come here. 0 to 2. You can spot, right? So hey, he has come here. So that's how things are indexed a bit. Now what I would like you to know is file IO. Now suppose you need to read a file with Python. You can do that too. Reading and writing files are easy in Python, to be honest. Just some syntax and you are done. So let me create a file, file.txt, and write here hello, I'm happy today. So that's it. Now what we can do is, now the syntax is with open file.txt, and then we can press R and then F. Now what's this? So F is a variable for the file we have opened, and R is a mode. The R here, this one here, is a mode. Now R stands for read mode, and there are even B, W and A. So B stands for binary, and W stands for write or edit mode, and append stands for append mode. RB is for read binary mode, but RW is not read and write mode. Except for read and write mode, we use this. We use R plus. So that's it. And then the editable of the file is how much the file is modifiable. That depends on its mode. So let me read this file. So we have the variable, we have our file stored in the variable f. Then we can just read this, print f dot read. So dot read, so the read function helps you read this file. Oh no, file io. Yeah, file io dot py. Hello, I'm happy today. So all my contents of this file is written here. Now suppose I want to write it, then I can just open it in write mode, and what I will do is f dot write hello, I am written. That's done. Now we again do it. Now we go to our file and you will see that the contents have been changed. Now what if now, as you saw, the last text that I had written was deleted. Now what if I wanna add some text? I don't wanna delete the previous content and add a fully new one, but I want to append. Then what we can do is we can open this as a mode, as append mode. Now hello, I am written. Actually you could do this \n, which stands for new line, and it just skips a line. Now again do this. Yeah, now we go to file.txt and you will see that hello, I'm written has been appended. Suppose if you are thinking misunderstanding it as a loop, then let me see hello, I am j. Let's append this too, and we go to our file and you will see that there is j here. So basically the \n stands for a new line, so it's just moving the next content to the new line, and that's all. And what else with there is nothing much more with this thing. Now there is another way to read files, which is suppose f1 equals to open file.txt and here r. Then we can do print f1 dot read. Now again we write the file, so we have the same thing out there, but one thing we have to do here is f1 dot close before doing stuff, or there will be some errors caused when we deal with multiple files. So f dot close is necessary here, and you can even write it the same way we did. Just open the file and do your stuff. Now that was file io. Then there is then we will talk about a module which is random module, whose I said that I will take ahead in the tutorial. So let's see random module. So to import it, it's import random. Then there we will go. Then there's a so random module is a pre-built module in Python which has its functions that are helpful in numerous ways. Today we will look at some of the functions of this module, namely the randint function, choice function, and random. So what is the randint? So we can just spawn randint with random.randint module name dot function. Then here we give a range, suppose 45. So now we just run this rmm.py, my file name. Okay, so basically we give a range here, was 0, 6. What happened? Okay, so print. Print. So basically it gives us a random integer between the two range. It gives us a random for this one it will give us a random integer every time between. So it's kind of repeating. Sometimes it does repeat, that's not a problem. So it is giving us random values between 0 and 6, or even if we give 2 and 6. Then see, you have 4, you have 5, you have randomly coming values, you have 3 now. Now what is random.random? Well, random.random, so random.random Here we have random.random. Now what it does is it returns us a random float value. It is a float value which is mostly starting with 0. Let's see the output by ourselves. So you can see it's some random float value, and that's what it does. It's not quite helpful in more sometimes, but it sometimes comes to use. Now random.choice, this is a nice function. Well, what we can do here is first make a list. Suppose L equals to hello, hi, bye. Here it is. So there are 3 items in our list, so we can just give the list here, and what it will do is it will fetch a random item from this list. Let's see, let's run the code. See, hi, hello, bye, hi, bye. So these are random choices. So these are helpful when you are doing games like rock paper scissors and all. The more the implementation, a better implementation of random has been made in one of my videos of rock paper scissors. But this was the random module. Quite a short introduction to it. Now project 1, we will start with our final project. Yeah, this is our final project, which is dice simulator. So make a dice simulator. Let's see, dice simulator.py. Let's make a new file. Now it's time to get hands on a project. It's a simple dice simulator which can store your throws in a file. Well, basically your number throwers, and yeah, and also thinking a way to just make it biased sometimes. It's kind of fun. So first we obviously need the random module. You will see why. Random. Then we need input. So I haven't told you about input. Well, that was kind of basic. So what it does is it's take an input from the user. I'm giving you an example for here in the strings.py. Suppose we give a, it's a variable, and we have input, give your name. Here it is. Now print a. We will do this. Strings.py. Okay. Give your name. Suppose I give J. Then you can spot it that we have given J. So it has been printing J for me. Suppose we give J and A is happy. Then we give again enter J and it is giving us J is happy. And so what if we do what if we typecast the integers? Well, we can just do int input. So basically what happens is we can only put input integer here. Then we can just so the input will be converted into an integer. Suppose I give 9, 9 is happy. But suppose if I give my name J, then you see that invalid literal. So that's what we're gonna use here. Num int input actually and yeah, so whose turn? Well, not really. Do we need input here? Yeah, I guess. No, we don't need input here. We can just get num equals to random dot randint between 0 and 6. So that will be our throw. That will be it will just generate a random number, and actually not 0. Let me give it 1. So that will basically be a dice simulator. So it will give us numbers between 0, 1 and 6. Then we can just do print the user through num. Nice. Now let's see this dice simulator. Yeah. What is it happening now? Okay. So basically I have to give here comma because it's an integer. Now you see that it is telling me that the user should this random numbers. So this is our simple dice simulator. It was a pretty small project. Now what if we want to bias this a bit? Well, if you want to bias this, you can just create a list, num list 1 5 and 2 3 4 5 6. Now what we can do is we can just add more sixes here, so it will get a higher chance to get 6, so that will be biased towards 6. So when it chooses, it can have a higher chance to get 6 because we have given multiple sixes. So here choice, and here we give num list. Done. Now here we give 1 6 6. You can see how many times it just biasing towards 6 because so many sixes, right? And if you want to get an input, well, if you want to get a good overview of input, then you can just go to my video, which was the rock paper scissors one. There we have used if else statements and all very well done. And yeah, then that was kind of so this was done and we have completed our Python basics. Now I would like you to give you a challenge whose answer should be given me in the description. The first person to answer will get a shout out with my video. So the challenge is to make a guess the number game. As you know, there will be a random number which you have to guess. It will give you hints and all till you reach the specific number. Now let's see who can do it. And this was it for the video. Happy learning. See you next time. Adios.